Ladies and gentlemen, the following is another fantastic episode of the Wrestling Fans Podcast, Ringside Society. In one corner, we have the greatest thing on God's green earth. No, we're not talking about money, Mary Jane, or Popeye Spinach. She is the tranquil dart of Ringside Society, Delaware's greatest American hero. And whenever he goes to Taco Bell, he asks for a chief burrito because he loves the combination of chicken and beef. It takes two to make a thing go right. He's Rob Bass, and you are not. And in the second corner, we have that ocean crossing, straight up Boston, flight catching, shot glass snatching. Where's he going next? Nobody knows. Three continents down, three more to go. No cap, straight facts, the worldwide star boy, Remy Blue. But it's not about us. You see, we have a special guest tonight, a man who is actually making his name in Florida, more specifically South Florida. Shout out to, Dade County, Broward County. That was pretty much my stomping grounds for 7 years. And he's actually been in matches that involved legendary ECW manager Rob. I know you know this guy, Bill Alfonso, the manager of champions. And he's also gone head to head. He recently went head to head against Malik Bosaid at Reefer Mania 13. Everybody, welcome to the show, Stefan Rivera.
Thank
How you
guys.
doing tonight, sir?
Thank you. I'm doing great, guys. Thanks for having me on. How are you?
Awesome. Great. Our good friend, our alumni guest, Megan Harden, she was telling us about you. I was like, oh, snap. Okay. Wow. Well, let's go ahead and get him on, And
Awesome.
we're like, the thing with us at Ringside said we don't turn anybody away. We don't care if you only wrestled one match or 1,000 matches. We don't care if you made it to the big leagues or never made it to the big leagues. The fact that you're in the ring putting on a show for us is enough for us to actually want to talk to you. So,
Awesome.
thank you very much for this.
Of course. No, special shout out to Megan. She's the man.
Yeah. Definitely. Y'all definitely doing good things down there in South Florida. I've actually been to a couple of y'all shows. Not like one specific company, but like I've been to shows by this promotion is no longer around, but Future of Wrestling. That was back in 2012. I've been to which was another one. Actually, I went to a CCW show back in 2012, and then there was one called Blueprint Pro Wrestling, which is no longer around.
Love it.
And I think that was the last one I went to. I haven't been to any more since.
Some great pro wrestling in South Florida. In Florida in general, you're gonna get some awesome pro wrestling shows.
Yeah. And I mean, come on, where's NXT? It's in Orlando.
Absolutely.
Where's AEW's one of AEW's main stomping grounds? I'm talking about where they do business a lot, Jacksonville, Florida. So
Ring of Honor's in there too now. So
yeah,
if you're in Florida, you got a lot of opportunities. There's a lot of indie promotions out here too, and there's no shortage of opportunities for sure.
Oh yeah. So I gotta ask you, man. I always ask 99% of our guests because it's always interesting to hear how it started. But how did your fandom for pro wrestling begin? What was the match or event that you watched or that you saw that made you become a fan from there on out?
Good question, man. To be honest, it wasn't a match or a show or anything. It was a video game. I think a lot of people.
Okay.
I think a lot of people remember Just Bring It, which isn't the best SmackDown video game, but that captivated me. To create a superstar. I mean, how could you go wrong? Spending hours with your friends creating bogus, bogus superstars. Just go at it all day.
Yeah.
Sounds like the cops are after you, man.
Nah, I was like, nah, they just patrolling and whatnot. But yeah, man. But yeah, the creator wrestler thing, man, it's crazy because you could actually make your own wrestler in your likeness or even a legend and just have them go against the wrestlers in the video game and so on. So yeah, it was. I remember the first time I actually played. Well, I'm going to go way back. It was I think the first. What was it? I think it was called Raw. WWE Raw.
Okay,
whichever
Xbox.
the first one. No,
it
came out. It was the one before. Geez, I'm really dating myself. but it was the one. I think it was called Rise War. I think that's what it was called. It
On
was
the
the first,
PlayStation.
yeah, on the PlayStation,
Oh, that one was trash.
and that was the one that had you had Shawn Michaels, you had Triple H, you had the Headbanger. That
If I'm
one.
not mistaken, Ahmed Johnson was on there. You couldn't understand him. It was yeah. I honestly I had the PlayStation 1 when the PlayStation 2 was out, so I had all the older games. And when I saw Raw is War, I obviously had to get it. And I was like, damn, this game sucks, man. When you play SmackDown versus that game, it's night and day, man.
To me, I'm gonna say this. You know, the best WWE game that I ever played. Um, it was here, and like I said, and the reason why I'm saying this is because I haven't played any other game since. I mean, every time I buy them, I'm like, yeah, these controls suck. I don't like this. There's a lot of complications. You know, I'm just gonna just put this aside. But it was SmackDown. Here Comes the Pain. That was the best, WWE game I've ever played, and I like the way that you can actually use your opponent's move against them. And yeah, that was the best game. The engines on that game were pretty good, and it was
Yeah,
pretty straightforward. It wasn't too crazy. You didn't have to have all these points on it. I mean, granted, every opponent had their weaknesses and their strengths and whatnot, but there wasn't this crazy ranking system for like, oh, you get
yeah,
what, an 89 for a Kevin Owens and a 74 for a Sami Zayn or something like. It was just like
garbage. Yeah, no,
if
it was
they,
more, it was better back then, yeah, for sure.
yeah, if Sami Zayn can't body slam, what was it? Not Jonah. What's his name? Bronson Reed. Then he's not gonna do it in the game. So it was simple as that.
And that's when Here Comes the Pain. That's when it all started with Here Comes the Pain, if I'm not mistaken, because you had Rey Mysterio in that game. He couldn't pick up Big Show. He couldn't pick up Brock. He couldn't, you know what I mean. So it was when it was starting to get a little bit more realistic to weight division and stuff like that. I remember that. That's around the time I stopped playing video games. But yeah, I remember that. That was awesome. That was actually like one of the better points in gaming for wrestling for sure.
Yeah. So who are some of your favorites that you enjoyed watching growing up?
Oh man! So when I first started, I liked all the big guys. The Undertaker, The Rock, Stone Cold. I guess I started watching right after WrestleMania 17, and I basically watched when the NWO invaded. I was like, that was crazy to me when Hogan hit Rock with the hammer and basically ran the ambulance over with the with the semi. That to me was like, holy shit, you know what I mean? That was that was some drama. So I was definitely hooked after that. So wrestling for me had its ups and downs, but definitely that was the time when I was like, damn, hooked for sure.
Yeah, yeah. WrestleMania 17. That was I remember that was when oh man, Vince McMahon got the whole family on him. Like um he was fighting his son Shane, and his wife was in a catatonic state, and then she snaps out of it and enough to go ahead and slap him. Trish Stratus low blows him. That was a crazy match, man. And then yeah, it's Stephanie looking to get revenge because she assaulted her father, and yeah, it was
End of an era. At 17, is looking back at it, the Attitude Era. That's basically when it was capped. You know what I mean? WCW was already done. The invasion was going on. So
But I gotta ask you, which one? You started watching wrestling like on the tail end of the Attitude Era, but I'm sure you've watched what happened during it because you got YouTube and all that stuff,
okay.
DVDs, and you were obviously watching through the Ruthless Aggression era. Which one did you like better?
Um, Honestly, the Attitude Era was probably the most entertaining to watch. But then
Mm,
again, since I was already hooked, yeah, there were many times during the Ruthless Aggression I was like, man, this is trash. But you're already hooked. You want to see The Rock come back. You want to see Stone Cold come back. You want to see your favorites come back, and you're enjoying it. And honestly, the John Cena's and Kurt Angle's and Eddie Guerrero's, rest in peace. They did their thing, and Triple H did his thing, and they made it work, and I was a fan. I mean, up until a certain point, I was watching all the time.
Yeah, I always say like to me personally, I like the ruthless aggression era more because it had a bit of everything. You had the athleticism, you had the raunchy storylines. You actually had it had a bit of everything. Granted, The Rock and Stone Cold weren't really part of it that much, but still, it was still
Hardly, but
pretty much
it was still.
entertaining.
Yeah, Brock Lesnar, man. You had John Cena. You had the beginning of a true like a cruiserweight division. You know what I mean? And at the other side, you had TNA. Which is coming back. I heard. So,
Yeah,
you had TNA, and you had a whole bunch of indie promotions starting up, which you got today, Ring of Honor, and others that are still doing their thing. Great wrestling
yeah.
time during the Ruthless Aggression for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely. So I gotta
Mhm.
ask you, man. So now that you're a fan, you play the video games, you're rooting for your favorites, you're supporting them and everything. How did your journey go from Stefan Rivera, wrestling fan, to Stefan Rivera, pro wrestler?
Oh man. Honestly, it was just I started going to the gym. I was not. I was like I was not this size. I was much smaller, and I decided, oh man, I'm just gonna go to the gym. I did that for a few years, and then I was like, man, you know what? Might as well, uh, give it a go, try it out. And I did. I fell in love, and I had my first match with ECW legend Bill Alfonso involved, and that was like a dream come true. And it was like I hear it so many times. Getting in the ring is like the most powerful drug. So yeah, regardless of what's going on, you're just thankful to be there, and you don't even think about the drama. You don't think about politics or anything. You just want to go out and have a good time, have the fans show them that they want to come to the next show, and just yeah, it's a rush. It's honestly an adrenaline rush. So how it had all started was just through working out and getting in shape, and eventually I felt it was like, hey, I think I could give it a go.
But it must have been a crazy feeling because like Bill Alfonso, man, this man is, in my opinion, legendary manager. I know Rob, you've probably seen him, several times live when you used to go to the ECW shows back in the day. But if I were in your show, I probably would have been like, man, I hope I don't mess up, man. Like it's Bill Alfonso, manager of champions, which and yeah, he's a manager, he's outside, but it's still a part he has to play, and um,
I was literally at the
but
right
still,
place at the right
man.
time. That was literally it. And I gotta, right place at the right time. And it was an amazing experience. And I'll always be able to say that my family is close with Bill Alfonso now, and they love him. Um, and yeah, so it's really cool. I love him. He's a great guy.
Yeah, yeah. I'll never forget that legendary team he managed with Rob Van Dam and Sabu. That was definitely a legendary tag team right there. Um,
Hell
so
yeah.
training, so training. Where'd you like end up going for training? And I know there's like a couple schools down there. I know one is Rusty Brooks,
Yeah.
and then there's CCW, which is ran by Gangrel now.
Hmm.
And I think that's about it for South Florida. I know there's several more up north.
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny how I started. I ended up looking into schools. I was like, oh, Gangrel has the most credibility. He had just like a really good program there, and I checked it out. I thought it was great. It was the distance for me, and I went with Coastal Championship Wrestling. Um, they were under another name at the point. They were just transitioning into the training facility they have now, and I was under Pablo Marquez, great coach, and yeah, learned from him a lot. Then it transitioned to Gangrel when his students came by, and they made like a whole melting pot. It was pretty cool. Great time also. If
Yeah,
you go to
yeah,
South Florida.
I got a lot of great stuff. Y'all got Kelsey Reagan down there. There's these two twins. I hope I can definitely have on the show real soon. The Lucero twins. I don't know if this. I think they recently came back. So yeah, I got a lot of impressive people. You got Cha Cha Charlie down there too. See, I got a
Absolutely,
lot of
Cha Cha.
people. Y'all got a lot of impressive like people, men and women working there. One thing I'm gonna definitely make sure I do is whenever I head to South Florida, if CCW has a show, I will definitely make it my number one priority to attend one of their shows because y'all got it going on down there.
Oh yeah, man. They have, if I'm not mistaken, in South Florida, they run the most shows. Um, out of Fort Lauderdale, and Miami. I think once a month, at least twice in Miami, I think, and I think every other week in Pompano Beach.
Wow, that's cool. So you also got to wrestle another up and comer, a man that's been making also been making a name for himself as well too. As a matter of fact, I believe he's 1/3 or 1/4 of this new stable. Well, not really new stable. They've been around for a while. It's called the Culture or Culture Inc. They're
Culture
actually,
Inc. Yeah.
I think they're the current reality wrestling tag team champions. But you actually had a match at WrestleMania 13 against Malik Bosaid, and you did not take no left. I mean, you may have been like the lesser experience of the two, but you were like, nah, you gonna put some respect on my name. And he actually did. He actually did because after he was like, man, yo, I was talking smack. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
But yo, he showed that respect to you for actually bringing it and leaving it all in the ring. So what was your mindset going through? Because there was a great turnout for that event. What was your mindset? Going against Malik in front of all those people, everybody watching you. I guess you could say the hundreds in the building, or maybe thousands. I don't know how many that building fits, but you definitely got the thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands at home watching the two of you put on a show, put on a clinic, pretty much.
yeah, man, it was awesome. Yeah, the building was packed to the T. There was smoke everywhere. Obviously, a Reefer Mania, so there was a lot of smoke in the air. But my mindset was this guy's he's to me not an up and comer, man. The guy's legend. He's done his thing already, and he is going to be definitely something to look into in the future because he's going to be he's got a lot of talent, man. He's going to be doing his thing for sure. He already is, and it was awesome. Working with him was a delight. You know what I mean? And the referee, shout out to the referee in there too. It was great.
Oh, King,
Yeah, he was in
one of the King
WWE.
twins.
Yeah, he was in WWE. Great guy. It was just a really awesome experience. But mindset wise, you just got to prepare. You're. I knew the guy had 5 titles going in there, so it was like going against Kenny Omega, the belt collector. Almost, it was awesome. It was real cool.
But you put up a fight because I remember when he came, he's like, "This guy is not worthy of going be in the ring against me." And he gave you a smack, and then he was like, then you were like, he went talked some more stuff to the crowd. Look back, you smacked him back. That dude started stumbling. I was like, oh snap, man! This Reefer Mania, and Stefan is bringing the smoke, man. He ain't playing today.
Nah, man, it was awesome. Awesome experience. It was a great card in general. Shout out to Megan and FEW JB Cool for putting that on. That was just an awesome show. And the host of Reefer Mania, he's an awesome guy as well. So
That's cool, man. So you got that out of the way now. You're pretty much on your way. Um, you're pretty much on your way in terms of like as a professional wrestler and so on. You're done with Malik Bosain, or at least for now. I don't know if you guys want to run that back again, but who are your top 5 that you want to wrestle next, like that are on your list? And by all means, feel free to call names from big companies as well too, because let's be honest, it's pro wrestling. Anything could happen today, tomorrow. Vince can call you. Well, not Vince. Vince is not in charge. Triple H can call you and be like, hey, I like your work. I want you to come in here and wrestle against, Seth Rollins, or Tony Khan might give you that call to actually wrestle against Kenny Omega. So who are your top 5 that you want to wrestle in the near future?
oh, in the near future, okay. Well, there's some indie names that I would love to work with, but in WWE, there's a whole bunch. The AEW, TNA, all of them. I mean, there's a whole bunch. Locally, would love to work with Cha Cha Charlie. He's awesome. Good friend of mine. But, who knows? There might be some beef there we could hash out. surprisingly, one of my first matches. Yeah, one of my first matches, if not my first match, I think, against Benny Blanco. Man, I love that guy. He's honestly, he's the, in my opinion, out of out of my startup group, he's the best trash talker there is in the ring. It's hilarious. Like it genuinely,
Okay.
I have to hold myself back from laughing sometimes from the things he does. So, um, things like that. Who else, man? There's Jake St. Patrick. I've never had a one-on-one match with Jake St. Patrick. Um, he's awesome, man. He's awesome. And Santana, man. I never had a one-on-one match against Nazir Santana either, which
Okay.
definitely needs to happen.
Cool. That's a pretty interesting list. I definitely hope you get to wrestle all of them and so on. Jake St. Patrick, I've definitely heard of his name. I know he's been around for a bit, so yeah, but definitely hope you get to wrestle all those people as well too.
Funny
And
story
like
about
that,
Jake. During my first pay-per-view on Fight TV, it was for NAWA Jingle Brawl. This is before I even really I think it was like my first show. They introduced me as Jake St. Patrick, and I wasn't even in green or anything like that. It was awesome. It was hilarious.
wow,
Yeah,
man, that must have been like, damn. I'm y'all even got my name wrong. Like, sheesh.
yeah. It was in the same match as me. It was a battle royal, but I thought that was funny.
Yeah, man. So I see that your Instagram you have studio time. So I take it let me guess, you're either a rapper, beat maker, or actor.
Oh man, I mean, some of everything there, but I'm not a rapper. I run a photography business, so
Okay, that's cool.
I used to work as a school photographer. I'm not doing that. I just don't like going to schools and dealing with kids. But I do a lot of real estate photography personally, and yeah, so that's mainly why that I haven't transitioned into a new uh, a new Instagram handle, I guess, because I'm still making money
Okay,
with quite a bit of money with
because I
photography.
when I saw like the studio, like you had the whole studio time thing, I was like, okay, this man probably got something like studio. He's probably incorporated in that in like some kind of gimmick or something. Like
Um,
he's gonna cut a promo from the studio. And I'm not making fun. I mean, it's
no,
pretty
no,
cool. Like he's cut a promo from the studio, and
no.
maybe might throw on a cool beat or something. But yeah,
Nah,
I
nah,
was just kind of curious about that.
nah, man. That's probably Santana's forte.
Oh, okay,
He
okay.
makes some good beats, but I used to do audio engineering and stuff like that for people as well. So people would come record their songs with me because I had the equipment, and then they would either take it to a producer to mix and master it, or I would do my little thing with it. But I did that
Oh,
for a
that's
while. But that wasn't my forte. I really enjoyed photography. So I would do drone stuff too for like properties and different stuff, and
what?
so music
That's neat.
videos too. Yeah.
That's neat. I just started getting into it too, actually, like into photography. Um, this year has actually been a bit busier than last year. Not like I'm getting booked every like not like I'm doing a shoot every like week, but like every like 2 weeks I'm on something.
Yeah.
And it's a very excite to me. It's a very like exciting thing to do because like sometimes like if I'm not doing like photo shoots, um, I'm like if nobody hits me up and says, hey, can you take some photos of me? I'm probably out somewhere in here in New York or somewhere else like I was in San Diego taking some pictures of like just scenery. I'm just taking pictures of like random like scenery that I think would look cool. So yeah, it's actually an exciting thing, man. I'm thinking about since I'm in New York right now for now, I'm actually thinking about going over to Stamford and taking a picture of that big WWE championship they got there in front of the headquarters. If I can. I don't know how they do things over there, but
If you can get a good shot, just get the telephoto lens, and should be all right.
Yeah, I got.
You could do something though. You could pull something off.
That's another thing. I mean, I have like I shoot with a Canon right now. I know, and it's like it's a fairly like the T7, which is like a fairly new model, but it's like I see people with the Sony and Nikon. I'm like, man, I got me feeling inferior here. Like I got like the basic stuff. You know what I'm
100%.
saying?
These mirrorless cameras are amazing. But that's awesome that
So,
you're getting into that. You should stick with it, and you could definitely make some money, and just get more experience and practice, test some settings out, and go with it.
yeah, I'll definitely stick. I mean, worst case scenario. I mean, just like because when I started, I had a Kodak camera, and I was like, okay. And then afterwards, I was like looking up like what are the best cameras to do for photography, like for photo shoots and so on. And Kodak was not on that list. I'm like, okay, I guess I gotta upgrade. And then lo and behold, coincidentally, I guess the camera gods were looking at me and like, okay, since you now know that Kodak is not it, we're gonna, you know, disable your camera because right there and then, like not long afterwards, my camera died, stopped working. I'm like, geez. And then I looked at Best Buy. Best Buy had a deal for a Canon, so I'm like, awesome. Well, scared money don't make money, so I might as well just go ahead and get that Canon, the Rebel T7, and I've been enjoying it, and I got the right editing software too, Lightroom. So it's like, yeah, I'm starting to like this even more and more, and I'm learning new angles and so on.
Awesome.
It's just amazing, man.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, there's always new upgrades, and that's the part that's like it's hard to keep up with. But yeah, that's pretty dope, man. Glad to hear that.
So my last two questions. So my last two questions, man. So you just started. Well, not just started. You've been doing this for like a couple years now. And I know one of your goals is to keep on grinding, get all the belts and whatnot. But of course, there's actually obviously tag team titles as well too. So is there anybody that you would think you'd want to actually go ahead and get some tag team titles or even trios titles with? Because apparently now trios titles are coming back now. I mean, you got them in AEW, Ring of Honor. I heard WWE's planning on getting and it's a rumor that they're planning on getting some trios titles as well. So who would you pick to be your partner or partners to go after those titles?
Oh man, I have a go-to already. That's my Sancho. So Sancho has been a manager of mine for, let's say, a year and a half now. And he really helps me out, in many ways, more than one, more than he can know even. And yeah, if I could get in there with the tag team, it would if I could choose, because many times you don't really get to choose that, it's bookie like that. Or if you got like a little click, there's a lot of clicks in wrestling. So just depends. I would definitely, number one pick would be Sancho. For sure.
Awesome.
Yeah, if a trio whenever come around, keep Sancho and add Stacks from NXT.
Okay. I've actually met Stacks before. Really cool guy. I met him at a Wade Mania earlier this year in LA. Really cool guy. Awesome. I told him, I kind of did a marky thing, but I didn't do like not too markish. I was like, man, Stacks. I was so pissed off when they let go. When they let your tag team partner 2 times go. Man, that was a stupid mistake they made. And I legitimately like that tag team. I mean, the family is good now, but I was like, man, I don't know why they let him go. And he just like shook his head as well too. But yeah, he was really cool people.
He's cool, man. He's not gonna think you're a mark for that. Actually, when forgot which WrestleMania it was 2 WrestleManias ago. We were in Tampa, the one in Tampa, and we were just getting some wings somewhere. And Sancho was there, Stacks was there, and we were wearing wrestling merch. We're having a good time, laughing, and people walked by us and called us marks. So it was hilarious. We all laughed. It was pretty cool.
Yeah. So my last question, man, before I turn it over to Rob, when you're getting ready to, knock out some workouts, do some cardio, do some reps in weightlifting or calisthenics, or when you're getting ready to face your opponent, what are some songs? What are like your top 5 songs that you have on your playlist that you actually have to listen to get you in that zone?
Good question, man. A lot of them are gonna be, those old school wrestling themes. That's one. You know, the game. Triple H's theme. That's one. That's a classic. Um, Honestly, man, I'll listen to a lot of rock before a match. Um,
Okay.
I like Drowning Pool a lot. Drowning Pool's album from that WrestleMania theme. That's a go-to song also. What else? Man, I don't discriminate against music, so I'll listen to whatever is getting me hyped and ready to go. Keeping my mind in the game.
Yeah, I'm like that too. I think I pissed off a gym near me one time because I remember, but I was in the Navy, and at my last duty station in North Carolina, I was the
Thank you for
first
your
one in the
service.
gym. Thanks. So I remember one time I was doing, and this is when I was working out like the least 3 times a week, the most 6 times a week. And I remember like one time I got into the gym early before everybody, and whoever gets there first, they get to control the Bluetooth.
Sweet.
And so now I got on my playlist. My playlist has like I don't have one particular genre. Like I have 1 minute I'll have like broken down by Seven Dust, which is whenever I work out, I always have to have that on my playlist. And then next minute I'll have something by Wu Tang Clan. And then next minute I have something. I have a pro wrestling theme song on, and so on. So I put on
Yeah,
my
man.
playlist,
Yeah, man. Honestly,
and
this is the way it's got to be, dude. Sometimes I try
yeah,
not to think about it too much because I used to be a big like little song Nazi when I was playing. When I was working out, and I would be like spending too much time changing the song or replaying the song or something like that. I'm like, man, I need to stop caring about what I'm listening to. And
yeah,
I would just actually, for a while, I broke that habit and wouldn't listen to shit. I wouldn't listen to anything and just would go in it and be in my head, be in my own head. And I listen to music now, though, but now it's just I don't really like. I'm not gonna go back and I just put on whatever playlist is on Pandora or something.
yeah. I remember that same instance. They were like somebody was like, "Who's in control of the Bluetooth?" And this time I got my headphones in my ears still, but it's like they can't tell who it is because
Yeah, that's funny.
I got my headphones and I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna say nothing because they sound like they were kind of like upset. But yeah,
I would be playing pranks, man. I would be doing some. I'd be doing some funny business if I had that Bluetooth control. Keep that away from me.
yeah. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and turn it over to Rob. I know Rob has a couple questions for you as well. Rob, go ahead, man. The floor is yours.
All right, sweet. Thanks, Remy. So what's going on, Stefan, man? How you doing today?
Pleasure to meet you, Rob. Pleasure to meet you guys.
Oh man, thank you. Yeah, yeah, you too, man. Yeah, so how's everything down there in Florida today, man? Weather beautiful, just like another day. You got any dinosaurs out in your front yard, backyard, or whatever you got to deal with? The crazy Florida, normal Florida stuff.
Yeah, man, it's crazy out here. You know how it is. It's
Oh
just
yeah.
as crazy as they make it seem. To be honest, that's for
Oh
sure.
yeah, I believe it, man. Yeah, 'cause yeah, I'm up here in Delaware, and I see deer, raccoon. Like last night, I had a possum on my back porch. You know what I mean? I opened the door, and it was just sitting there hanging. I'm like, all right, that's cool. I mean, I couldn't imagine, like, oh look, here's a giant, anaconda, or here's an alligator just cruising through. I'm like, yeah, I need to change the drawers. You know what I mean? I gotta go hop in the shower. You know what I mean?
Nah, man, having a rifle and a machete is like standard out here. You don't know what's gonna happen, and then that goes, for crazy people too. You got a whole bunch of crazies with that shit, and it's like it's absolutely lunacy, man. And then you got drugs out here, like it's rampant, so it can be
Mm.
pretty wild, man. There's some nice parts though, some nice parts
Yeah, yeah.
I
Yeah, I've
enjoy.
been to Florida before. I got family in St. Augustine and stuff, you know what I mean? So, it's not too bad.
See,
Florida ain't bad.
see, St. Augustine, I like, man. I need to make it out there.
Yeah, it's all right, man. I remember going down there. I was just like, man, this place is old. You know what I mean? I remember for like when I was a kid, I was like, man, everything here is old. You know what I mean? It's like, oh yeah, it was built like the 1600s or 15,
It's the
whatever, something
first.
way back then.
It's the first town or the first developed, if I'm not mistaken. Um, it's the first developed town in the United States.
So yeah, I believe it, man. So you were talking about, your first match with Bill Alfonso. Now I have a funny story with him. Well, I
Uh-oh.
never, I haven't met him and stuff. You know what I mean? I ref and ring announce and stuff and all, but I never like ran across him or whatever. Here in Delaware in the Delmarva area. But when I was a kid, I was like 16. I went to see ECW. They came here at Del State, and I brought my brother with me. He was like 10 or 11 at the time. So we go there, we're watching. Intermission comes on. I'm like, yeah, my brother's like, hey, you want to try and see if we can, see any wrestlers or something? I'm like, yeah, let's go walk around back, see if anybody's out there or something. We walk around back and you see a group, a little circle over there. Rob Van Dam, Bill Alfonso and stuff. And they're in the they're in the circle, the '70s show circle. You know what I mean? So they're over there, and I was like, I got my brother with me. I was like, we ain't gonna say hi. I was like, they look busy, man. So let's go on. He was like, man, because he's like 10 or 11 at this time. He goes, man, they better be careful because it smells like there's a skunk out here, man. They'll go out there and like, they'll be like, that's right, that's right,
They were doing Reformania before it was a thing.
that's right, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, man, you gotta let me know when that is, man. I'd like to go out there and check it out, man. It'd be pretty cool, you know what I mean? I'm professional. I'll wait till after the show to enjoy with everybody, you know what I mean? Because I'd be in there like, oh yeah, I gotta count to three.
December
My
December
man.
December 15th, man. I'll see you there.
Okay, yeah, I have to get up with the promoter, man. I'll send him my tape. I'll be like, hey, I'm on TV, been on TV and all that good stuff, man. I'm good to go.
No, man. Everybody's doing it in the crowd. It's quite it's a thing actually. So you'd
Oh,
be
that's
able
pretty
to,
cool.
yeah.
Cause I know they have that in DC sometimes, man. Like the guys, they'll like have a ring rental and stuff over there. I'm like, I'm kind of scared going over there. I might indulge beforehand, And I was like, man, yeah, I don't know. Maybe
Check it
one
out,
day
man.
I'll go out there.
Check it out, man.
Yeah, I'll definitely check it out, man. So I do got to ask, I mean, wrestling down there in Florida and stuff. Where's like the farthest you traveled so far? Have you just pretty much been in Florida? Have you gotten, anywhere, East Coast, West Coast, stuff like that?
I've been to Tennessee and Texas.
Ooh.
So
Oh, nice. So how was it out there in, Texas and stuff, man? Was it like huge? Were you wrestling in the desert?
no, man, it was like a boys and girls club type of thing.
Okay.
But it was fun, man. I loved it. It's always an experience when you don't know who you're going against and stuff like that. When a promoter just calls and says you have an opportunity, just take it and run with it.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, man. Now Tennessee, man, how was that experience? Did you get any fireworks over there, man? Did you load up, get to shoot anything off?
No, man, Tennessee's crazy, dude. It's I recommend any of my friends to go to Tennessee because you'll have a great time. And the matches there that I've had were some of my favorite, for sure.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Tennessee's pretty cool, man. Tennessee, Kentucky, all that stuff over there, man. I mean, you ain't gotta worry about, like the Appalachian people and stuff, man, like cabin fever type people. You know what I mean? They're deep in the woods. You know what I mean? You be out in the city. Look, Queens in the house.
What's up, Queens?
That's right. So, being out there, training, wrestling there, South Florida and stuff, man. Being with Gangrel, learning from him, man. What has he? Is there any words of wisdom he's imparted on you that you always like? Oh man, that was super smart. I never thought of that like that, or like, oh man, I'm gonna take this and do this like every match, or wherever I go and stuff, apply it to here or whatever. Was there anything like that from him?
Sure, yeah, absolutely. He's definitely helped me with quite a few things that I'm quite thankful for. One thing that maybe not in the ring, but outside the ring, I learned from him is dealing with injuries and when people ask you or when you ask them and stuff like that, being considerate and stuff like that. That goes a long way, and it actually shows me their professionalism. So yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Now,
hmm
being around him at Halloween, man, does he mess around, do some Halloween tricks, man? Do you got to watch out for, a bloodbath or whatever, you go into the training thing, or, or is it pretty cool there?
Oh man, he's a menacing figure, man. When you're around him, that's Gangrel there.
That's right.
He
Oh,
definitely
man, I
gives
couldn't
off that
imagine.
vampire vibe.
Oh man, yeah, I couldn't imagine that, man. Just hanging out with Gangrel just over there. Just oh man, yeah, it's
He's
probably
tough.
especially.
He shows the tough love. You know what I mean? He takes what he does very seriously. So you can only appreciate that.
That's right. That's right. Now I was sitting here watching some stuff, the TV behind you, man. Was that your highlight video going on, man? I couldn't really tell, man. It was
Yeah,
yeah, people
I just
back.
put my social media. I put my social media
Okay,
thing back there. So
okay, yeah. I was sitting there watching. I was like, is that? Yeah, I couldn't really see,
yeah, but
Okay, yeah.
it's like 15 minutes long though. I don't know. So it stopped. I was gonna turn it
Oh,
off.
hey, nothing wrong with that, man. You was back there kicking butt, man, tearing it up, man. So hey, man, nothing wrong with that, man. I'm all for it. So
Awesome, awesome.
Resting out, with Gangrel and stuff, Halloween, man. Are you a Halloween person? Do you, get into it? Do you watch the scary movies? Do you like going to
Oh,
those haunted house things or whatever, haunted tours?
I've done the commercial ones. I've never done like the ones out of people's houses though. I've done
Hmm.
like the Halloween Horror Nights, and there's one at Busch Gardens I've done too. But I love scary movies, man. That's and I like the investigations, like paranormal investigations and stuff. That's pretty cool too. So
Yeah, man, the one I used to like, Ghost Hunters. I think it was with the bald dude. I forget what. I think it was them, man. I used to like that one because they went in every house trying to debunk it at first. Like, no, it's not haunted. You got like this happening. Da, da, da. Then after a while, I guess they're like, you need to, make them haunted more. So I was like, okay, yeah, but yeah,
hell
I used to
yeah,
like watching it, man. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
love Halloween, man. It's
Hmm.
spooky time. Love that.
See, yeah, like I got this thing like with like I like going on tours and all that stuff, but I don't mess with any Ouija boards. I don't say Beetlejuice 3 times, never say Candyman 3 times, Bloody Mary. You know what I mean? Because more than likely nothing's going to happen, but just in case, like I don't want to
Uh,
be like, I don't want to be at my viewing, like on Scary Movie 3 when Homegirl died. I'm like,
no
and
way. Yeah.
everybody's like, look at him.
I think that's why I enjoy watching it because I know I'm not gonna participate. I'm not gonna do a séance. I'm not gonna do anything like that.
Yeah, I ain't doing all that, man. I seen
Mm.
too many movies, man. And I seen too many stories and stuff. I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I'm all right. I'll pass on that. Plus, when I was a kid, man, my mom had these dolls growing up, these like Amish dolls she bought at the
Oh,
auction. They didn't have any faces. Like they were just
so
like,
weird.
yeah. And she would put them up there, like in the living room and stuff. I always turn them around, like this is creepy. And she'd always yell at me, "Why are you messing with my stuff?" And I'm like, oh, oh.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man. That sounds traumatizing.
Yeah, nah, that's all good, man. Be all right. So, man, what are your favorite like Halloween movies and stuff? Do you have any favorites? Like are you a Jason guy? Freddy, Michael Myers.
I do like Michael Myers. Michael Myers was always like, just like it was like that nightmare. I don't know if you have those nightmares where you can't get away from where you can't get away from, the guy chasing you.
Mhm.
That's Michael Myers, like 100%. It's like but I did like I do like a few older scary movies, The Exorcist, like those that's old as hell, so
Yeah.
those are like I don't know how they when I was a kid it was still old. And I was
Hmm.
still nowadays like kids won't get scared if it's an old movie, you know what I mean? Like it has to be the newest movie. But I was actually watching Insidious last night, and I think I'm gonna watch the second one later. I'm not 100% sure if I have time, but I definitely will check it out.
That's right. A movie I haven't watched yet that I always like watching every year is Tucker and Dale versus Evil. I don't know if you ever seen that. That movie is hilarious. Like it's like a giant misunderstanding. It's like it's a horror movie, but it's a giant misunderstanding. Like the
What's the
main
name of it?
character's like Tucker and Dale versus Evil. It's
Tucker
like
and Dale.
yeah, versus evil. Yeah,
Okay.
these two friends they buy a cabin in the woods and they go in there just they go to stay there and fix it up and all and like right near them are some college kids and the college kids look at them because they're like they're redneck looking, big beards and working on that. So the college kids think these guys are killers and they're like the nicest people ever and they're like hey oh man it's totally out of control. It's hilarious.
One movie that caught me off guard, and I didn't see growing up, was Dawn of the Dead. I
Ooh, okay.
watched it. I watched it recently, and I was like, "Oh, this is cool." I think I watched it because I heard Selma Hayek. Someone told me Selma Hayek was in it, and she was looking good. So all right, I'll check that out. And
Yeah.
so I checked it out, and I was like, it took a turn. Like, went from one kind of movie. I think it started off like a bank robbery movie, then I don't know
Oh,
what it
Dawn of
was.
the Dusk Till Dawn. Dusk
Just
Till
till dawn.
Dawn.
What did I say? I forgot what I said. Or Dawn of the
Dawn of the
Dead.
Dead. But I know what you mean. Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, that was like wow. But there's some good scary movies out there. But these new ones are getting. I haven't seen the Nun 2 yet, but they're getting real
Mhm.
good.
Yeah, I seen the new Evil Dead movie, Evil Dead Rise. That was pretty good, man. I like those Evil Dead movies, man. See, it's right about the right amount of gory I can deal with, like Hostel and Saw. Sometimes they get a little too much. I'm like, ugh, I don't know about all that, but yeah, it was right there. I was like, okay, I can handle
Yeah,
that.
those movies make me feel uncomfortable. I think the scary movies, there's like a difference between gory and scary. Because gory is just you're gonna feel uncomfortable at some point.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like a Michael Myers or Jason, Freddy. Like I know somebody's gonna get tore up and all, but like I expect that they're not gonna sit there and just be like, oh, I'm gonna skin you alive, and then like pull
Yeah,
this. Like no, I ain't doing all that. Like I ain't taking a blood bath. It's like
love it though, man.
oh, yeah, that's right. So I do gotta ask, yeah, when is your next appearance? Do you have anything coming up down the pike? Do you got anything this weekend, next weekend? You booked up through the rest of the year?
Yeah, I have a match. Well, I'm booked this weekend. I'm gonna be in Newport Richey, Florida. Um, WXW Wrestling, if I'm not
Ooh,
mistaken.
okay.
Um, and the Reefer Mania is coming up in a month after that. So it's December 15th. You guys are all invited. Check that out. Um, I'm going to try to be involved in some way as well with having a booth or something like that because it's just an awesome event. So definitely come check it out.
Yeah, yeah, that definitely does sound fun, man. WXW, man. Yeah, I know about WXW. They do the thing down there, man. Yeah, they're pretty cool, man.
Shout out to Chico Adams,
Mm,
Valiana Wati, and
yeah,
Vertigo the
pops.
Cure.
Love Chico Adams, man.
Yeah, he's cool, man. He's a former guest on the show, man. Yeah, yeah, he's awesome, man. Yeah, and they always talk about Pops, man. Pops is the greatest, So
They're doing their thing, man. And he trains also with Natalia and a lot of
Mhm.
great people, man. So
Yeah, Vertigo, he's real good, man. I remember I was when we first we had him on here. I was like, man, this dude's like Taz, man. He reminded me of Taz going out there throwing his opponents around. So I was like, all right, now I remember said so. He's like, thank you, thank you. That's what I was looking for. I was like, all right, man.
it's like hard. It's like hard style and strong style. It's like strong style out
Yeah,
here, you know.
yeah, yep. That's right. That's right. So traveling around Florida and stuff, man. It can get crazy over there, man. Do you have any like funny travel stories that have happened to you along the way? Like, have you run into a Sasquatch or something like that? Like anything you could share. You know what I mean? Because I'm always trying to find some like crazy stories.
Oh yeah, man. Um, the craziest travel story. Um, I won't mention one person's name because they were being a little Karen. They were in the back seat. They're like the worst back seat driver you'll ever be in the
Mm,
car with, always complaining. So luckily they were passed out in the
okay.
back seat. So it was after a show, and we were actually dropping off another wrestler off at his hotel from Canada. We're dropping him off at his hotel, and on our way, I believe, to drop him off, uh, passing, we're driving along the beach actually. His hotel is along the beach, and we're passing like a little bar area. And next thing you know, I'm in the passenger side. I'm not driving. A wrestler, Alan S2S, was driving, and last second, we both saw this guy in the middle of the road. Same second, he was laying on the floor like a zombie. I kid you not. I mean, he was dressed very well, like a preppy boy, right? Like wearing a polo shirt, like he was like belonged on the golf course. So it was very odd. So we see this guy in the middle of the road. He looks up, look like crawling on the floor. Clearly was drunk or on some drugs. And there were some bars in the area. So but we literally swerved last second. And if we like missed him we saw the guys that saw him like when they say, "Oh, I saw my life flash before my eyes." We saw that happening to him. Like
Oh
we
man.
saw his life flash before his eyes. Like we literally, shoo, and we were like, "Holy shit!" We looked back and we're like, "Thank God, buddy's in the back sleeping because he would have been having a bitch fit." It was hilarious. Yeah.
Oh man. Oh yeah. You definitely got to watch out that man. You know, they could be on bath salts. You know what I mean? You know, bars around there. You don't know what's going on, man.
Drugs are real, man. Stay away.
Oh, I know, man. I've been to the bar scene and stuff, man. Going to use the restroom, and, you know, there's like people huddled in the stall and stuff, and I'm like, all right, man. I'm gonna leave y'all. I'm gonna go do my business. Don't bother me. I ain't bothering nobody, you know. So
Obviously, you couldn't. Whatever he was taking, you couldn't handle it. He was middle of the road, man. And,
yeah,
can't condone it. But if you're gonna do it, man, be around people you trust, man.
yeah. Do
Don't
it at
end up in the
home.
middle of the don't be in the middle of the road, by the beach, about to get run over.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, do that stuff at home. You know, you don't be like when I was younger, you know, with some friends doing the little stamp stuff. You know, watching American Werewolf in Paris, calling up 911, be like, yo, I'm gonna turn into a werewolf, and then they're like, don't worry, it's not a full moon tonight. I'm like, all right.
People, I guess, they choose their own vices and stuff. But that guy, literally, I hope whoever that guy was, I hope that was his wake up call in a sense.
Yeah, maybe it's just like he had a bad night or whatever, you know what I mean? So,
Uh,
man, I can't imagine just being in the middle of the road, man. Oh man.
Dude was literally crawling on the floor like a zombie, like, ugh. And then
Ugh.
literally, when we realized that he was in the middle of the like, there's a guy in the middle of the road, like his head pops up and we see his eyes, like
Mm,
oh fuck, like oh shit,
mm.
So
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right. So I do gotta ask, man. Before I pass it, back on the Remy and stuff, I want to ask, are there any, new movies and TV shows you're into right now? Because I'm always trying to find something new to watch. Because I watch the same things over and over, like comfort shows. You know what I mean? So I'm always trying to find something new.
it's
I
funny
don't
you
know if
say
you're into
that.
anything.
It's funny you say that because I was like, oh, I'm always taking recommendations. So that the last one you're gonna have to send to me for the scary movie I was asking about. But I'm trying to watch Ahsoka. I've been trying to watch it. I
Oh,
can't get
okay.
past episode 3 though. So not the biggest Star Wars guy, but I grew up watching it, so give it a shot.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet either. I'm getting around to it. I was like flipping through on Hulu and stuff, and I seen the show Shoresy. Season two's coming on. I don't know if you heard of Letter Kenny, Shoresy and all that shit. They're in Canada. They're kind of like Trailer Park Boys. They're hilarious. So
I love Trailer Park Boys, man.
yeah,
That
yeah.
that,
They
that
they
show
even
is
mention it.
awesome.
Yeah, they'll have like little shout outs. They'll be like, yeah, some guys were, there's a big smoke cloud over in wherever they're at, the Trailer Park Boys. They're like, yeah, man. So you couldn't see what's going on over there. They give little shout outs there. Yeah, Letter Kenny, Shorzy. Yeah, it's funny, man. The chirping on there, talking trash to each other. I'm like, oh my lord, man. Like they're vicious with it.
I gotta check it out then. Send me that one
Yeah.
too.
All right. Yeah, I'll definitely do that, man. So before I pass it on back to Remy, I want to say, thank you very much for taking time out of busy schedule, coming on chat with us, man. I definitely had a blast. I wish you nothing but the best, in your career going forward, doing photography, wrestling, and all. I hope you get to accomplish all your dreams. I hope you get to travel around the world, the country, kicking butt, winning championships everywhere you go, doing your thing, man.
Hey man, appreciate that. And you too. And you too.
Stefan, thank you very much. We really truly appreciate you doing this. Being a guest on our show and taking time out of your busy schedule to do that as well. We know you got a lot of things that you got to plan for and so on. So, really and truly do appreciate that. Before we go ahead and shut this show down, where can fans find you on social media when they want to find out when your next appearances? Purchase Stefan Rivera merchandise, and where can bookers and promoters find you when they want to book you for their shows?
Definitely. Booking, definitely reach out to me on social media. Just DM me or you can email me directly. Um, if you want to buy some merch, it's available on Amazon as well. I'm not sure if there's a Pro Wrestling Tees account for me, but definitely on Amazon. You can definitely find me on there. And my social media, Studio Time FL, Stefan Rivera, and YouTube. You can lifestyle videos and little behind the scenes of matches and stuff like that. So definitely check it out. Follow me. I'll probably follow you back, and keep up with the madness.
Awesome. So y'all definitely heard, he has merch out. Promoters, go ahead and book this man. He's definitely willing to work and everything. Shout out to Macy for letting us know there's a British version of Trailer Park Boys. Macy, we're looking for TV sitcoms to watch. So if you know the name of that, definitely let us know, and we'll definitely take a look at it.
Hell yeah.
But but other than that, for those y'all listening, watching, if you love indie wrestling, go ahead and follow this man. He's doing great things, and it's only going to be all the way up from here. So make sure you follow him. Make sure you support him. Purchase his merchandise. If you can't make the shows he's at, other way you can support your favorite wrestler, purchasing the merchandise as well. And that way, when he gets to WWE or AEW, and some fan is like, "Oh, I got the new, Stefan Rivera shirt from Shop AEW or WWE Shop," you could be like, "Man, I got the shirt from when he started out, man. I'm a real fan." So definitely, be a good sport. Cop the merchandise, because you never know where somebody's going to be in the future. But with that being said, it's about time for us to shut this show down. My eyelids are getting heavy. My stomach is rumbling. That means it's time for dinner. Well, no, I already had dinner, but it's time for a nap, but maybe not now because AEW is about to be on. But before I partake in that activity or activities, Rob Bass, the Mel Gibson to my Danny Glover, the Bubba Ray to my Devon, and the Charlie Haas to my Shelton Benjamin. Where can fans find you on social media when they want to talk wrestling, find away next appearances? Purchase Rob Bass merchandise, and where can bookers and promoters find you when they want to book you for their shows?
Or you can find me on Twitter, well, it's X now, and Instagram, Rob_Base82, Facebook, Rob Base, and November 4th, you can catch me 1CW. We're going to be down in Houston, Delaware. November 4th. We have I think we have like 9-10 matches going up. I'm not sure all the matchups going on right now, so definitely check let you know, checking on social media. Every Saturday morning, you can catch us on Delmarva Sports Network. If you're in the area, it's 10 a.m. every Saturday morning. If you're not in the area, you go to DelmarvaSportsNetwork.com. Check out 1CW. You can see all past matches. You can see, what's going on right now, so you can never miss a thing. So definitely check it out. And, that's what I got going on.
That's awesome. So if you're in Delaware, make sure you check out 1CW. They're doing a lot of great things. A lot of incredible men and women there, and they're not going to stop real soon. If you want to follow me on social media, now that I say a lot of cool things, you can definitely find me on Twitter and Instagram at the Remy Blue. You can also find our podcast on social media or on Twitter and Instagram. I'm not going to call it X because both of my jobs do random drug testing, and X is short for ecstasy. So if somebody says hears me say I'm on X, yeah, I'm not trying to have that smoke. So I'm going to call it Twitter. I mean, it is what it is. But our podcast is on Twitter and Instagram and also Threads at Ringside Society. We're on Twitch at Ringside Society 2019. We're on Facebook as a Facebook group. We're also on YouTube. We're also on Spotify, and we're also on Teespring. And last but not least, as I meant to say before, we're also on YouTube, where you can see cool interviews like this one, like the one we had with Megan Harden and many other great men and women, not just in South Florida, but all over the world. You can definitely find those interviews on YouTube. All you got to do is type in Ringside Society. And once you see that really gorgeous, good looking, dark blue and light blue yin yang style, the blue flames around it, that's when you know it's us. So make sure you subscribe to all our videos, because we got a lot of cool stuff coming up, and you don't want to miss a thing like Aerosmith in 1990. As a matter of fact, Rob Bass, should I tell him who we have tomorrow? Should I tell him?
Yes, you can.
All right, here we go. So tomorrow, 7 o'clock, same time, same place, we will be having DFW. That's right. The good folks down there at Dallas Fort Worth will be having the DFW Women's Champion, Maya World. She will actually be gracing us with her presence tomorrow, coming off of a great match she had with Izzy Moreno, who was also a member, who was also a guest on our show before she started wrestling. She's going to actually be on our show to shoot the breeze about her wrestling career and so on. So make sure you stay tuned for that as well. But until then, we just want to thank everybody tuning in live tonight. Thank you very much. We really and truly appreciate it. We're one of the best wrestling podcasts a wrestling fan could, should, and would listen to, and we're not going to stop being that. To those of y'all that are going to listen later on when you get a chance, thank you very much in advance. And those of y'all that hate us, can't stand us, really and truly wish we'd go away, well, like myself at a Golden Corral or Rob Bass at a Taco Festival, we're not going anywhere for a while.
They hate us because they ain't us.
And we ain't stopping.
Hey. Like, comment, subscribe.
There you go. So with that being said, we just want everybody to know that we're very well and aware that everybody and their grandparents and their parents of a podcast. But we're not your grandparents' podcast. We're not your parents' podcast. As a matter of fact, we're not just any podcast. Hashtag we are not the same. So with that being said, hey yo, Rob Bass, one time for the mind, one time for the people, one time for the wrestling culture, and one time for the up and coming, soon to be somebody to talk about, not just in Florida, not just nationwide, worldwide, Stefan Rivera.
Woo!
Thank you,
What kind
guys.
of podcast are we?
We're the Wrestling Fans Podcast.
That's right, we're the Wrestling Fans Podcast, Ringside Society. We'll be back tomorrow, but until then, we just have 4 favors for y'all. Stay safe, stay healthy, be excellent to each other, and party on, dudes. We out. Peace.
See y'all. Good night. Stay classy, Delaware. See y'all.
Adios.